If you like what you see, feel free to spread it around.
After 10,000 years, I'm free!
Just in time for lunch.
Yeah, there you go. All right. I got mad. I was like, fine. You want Mighty Morphin, I'll give you Mighty Morphin. But let me tell you something, it's not like any Mighty Morphin you know. But it's not the weird Mighty Morphin from 2017 where nobody knew what the hell they were doing and they were just like, let's just do some crazy shit. And there was that really weird scene where they had the teenage girl being like paranormally sexually harassed by Rita Repulsa. You remember that? That was really weird. I think about that a lot. It bothers me. It bothers me a lot. Biggest problem, I think, with that whole experiment was that they were trying to reinvent what a Power Ranger is, and it's just not going to work. There's no reason to do that. Like, take a look at this, okay? So on its face, you can see that this is an admirable attempt, okay? Like, they're sitting back and they're like, okay, so this whole ye olde diamond thing from the costumes of the elder years here, all right, this is a little hard to sell to kids of today, especially with, like, the neck braces. Believe it or not, I think this had to do with the fact that something about the costumes that the American team had didn't allow them to, like, pull the hood down that holds the neck up during footage. So there was some type of like improvised turtleneck put in here, and that's why it looks like they're wearing neck braces. Like, being Power Rangers is hard work, man. The torsion's a bitch. Have you or a loved one been injured in a Moon Witch related monster battle? You may be entitled to compensation. But anyway, so in 2017, they were like, well, when 2017's Power Rangers was being produced, they were asking themselves, like, how do we update this to give, like, the kids of today an interest in it? It obviously looks pretty dated, so let's try and, update it. So the problem is that modern filmmakers want to contextualize everything. They want to look at a design and be like, well, what does that diamond mean in the middle of the suit? What you found in 2017 is they were like, we don't know what to make sense of here. So we're going to just go with like the straight cosmic adventure. And I have to remind you that like they were looking at Mighty Morphin and they were saying, this is embarrassing. This is the problem I talked about with Simon's rendition. The mistake that Simon was making is that he was looking at the Sentai footage and saying, well, this is too silly. Okay. So it's always the wrong foot to set off on when you're trying to do these revitalizations or reboots, or whatever you want to call them. Like, when I set this out, I don't like Mighty Morphin. Okay. I don't hate it. It's not like Operation Overdrive. I'm not like, that's not the case at all. The suits are hideous because they tried to contextualize all of this. Okay. Way back when this was the Zoo Ranger concept, the 16th Super Sentai, it's nice. It's a good one. They did some new ideas with it that they hadn't tried before, and obviously it worked, but it's not like the greatest Super Sentai that ever happened. And, it's stuck here because Saban wanted to like make that into an institution because it worked once. It might as well work a million times. So when Lionsgate decided they were going to try and translate this, they were sort of embarrassed by the original concept. And we'll go back and we'll take a look at it again, and we'll talk about it. So as you can see right here, we'll ignore the neck braces. But as you can see right here, the diamonds are meant to be teeth, okay? I only learned this like last week, okay? I'm not a Power Ranger like super scholar. I don't have a degree in Power Rangerology. I'm not a rangerologist. But maybe I should be, though. Maybe I should be. Anyway, So immediately what your attention is drawn to is the diamonds. And the diamonds have always been sort of strange to contextualize, as I said. In the 2017 one, they tried to turn it into some kind of like galaxy window, I guess, that they had the power of a galaxy in their suit or something. I'm not sure. And so, however, these are supposed to be like teeth, right? So the parts that are coming down are meant to be the teeth biting, and the white parts are like the absence of the teeth. So there you go. And you know, it's Japanese design styling. Sometimes it clicks with Westerners, sometimes it doesn't. And like I said, I didn't know this until last week, so it's not like it's stuff that's widely discussed all the time, I guess. So maybe it was. I don't know. Just didn't make it to me. But here we have this suit, and of course, you see a lot of the presence of white. Now, in the 2010s, white was sort of verboten. White in the costumes, like, oh wow, we're automatically like telling everybody that this character's holier than thou. So they had to avoid that. They didn't want to go and put the white into the costume because it signifies purity right off the bat, and they like to have their heroes in this gray area. I'll remind you, their version of Teenagers with Attitude was Kimberly sending pictures of her lady parts, sexting people. Okay, that was her Teenagers with Attitude rendition. And Jason's Teenagers with Attitude rendition in 2017 was that he slapped people. Wow. Wow. Okay. When Lionsgate looked at these designs, they obviously decided these aren't alien enough. This doesn't look like anything that would be considered cosmic warriors. And so that's why these look so alien, is because Lionsgate said, well, a space wizard fell from the sky after a space war against a space witch. So these ought to look like aliens. And it ought to look like aliens that misunderstood what dinosaurs were because they were new. And so this really stressed the whole, I guess, cosmic adventure that they were trying to ignite with the only Power Rangers movie from Lionsgate, is that they were trying to ignite this, I would say it would lean more into what Thor was doing in Ragnarok, where it would have more like off-world context than on-world context. Sort of like how Rita wasn't attacking Angel Grove to get Zordon or finish her fight or, vex the Power Rangers while they were in math class. It was to get the Zeo Crystal that was conveniently buried under Krispy Kreme. Because, if you ever wondered why Krispy Kreme is so successful, apparently they are powered by the Zeo Crystal. So there you go. Rather than saving the world, Krispy Kreme is contributing to, congestive heart failure. How about that? They don't think this stuff through. They just don't. They're like, oh, product placement. That sounds great. See, it made sense when Iron Man had a Burger King burger when he came home from being in captivity in a cave where he had to build armor to kill people to get out of the cave. So, yeah, a cheeseburger. Yeah, of course, he's going to have those in his pocket. That product placement made sense. The Zeo Crystal being buried under Krispy Kreme was a big, big reach. A big one. This whole cosmic war is because of a donut place being inopportunely placed. The zoning laws didn't take into account this ancient crystal below it. So it also kind of felt like they read a Wikipedia article about Power Rangers and they're like, I got enough. I got it. Guy in a tube, some lady, a Zeo Crystal, 5 teenagers with attitude. I got this. The Lionsgate one was trying to do too many things at once, I think. For 10,000 years, Zordon has been trapped beyond reach, sealed away in a time barrier created during his final battle with Rita Repulsa. When Rita escapes her lunar prison, the universe expects her to return to dominance until a stranger descends like a spider. Vexala, a sorceress from the future, fuses with Rita in a storm of power. From that moment, the galaxy itself bends under a darker will, as Angel Grove becomes the front line in a war that began long before these Rangers were ever born. With Zordon lost, guidance falls to Dulcea, the last warrior of the Order of Meridian and Alpha 5, its surviving junior member. The viewing globe chooses 5 teenagers based on the capacity of their souls for good. Awkward, flawed, and untested, they are nevertheless bound by a desire for righteous justice. Teen genius Billy Cranston has upgraded the power coins, reforged to withstand the battles ahead. Yet one coin is beyond his reach, the green power coin, hidden centuries ago by Ninjor, who erased his own memory to keep Rita from finding the coin. The green coin lies guarded by the Dragon Zord and the mighty Titanus, a secret buried in the heart of Angel Grove. The Vexala's schemes outpace the Ranger's growth. In a brutal clash, she captures the green coin and seizes control of the Dragon Zord, crippling Titanus in the process. To wield this power, she forges something monstrous, an entirely evil Green Ranger construct, born from the heart of Dark Spectre and bound by her command. The result is not a corrupted hero, but a living weapon, designed to shatter the Rangers' unity. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers' journey becomes more than weekly battles. It's a treasure hunt across the Order of Meridian's legacy. Every victory unearths pieces of Zordon's mysterious hidden past, and every mistake strengthens Vexala's grip on the future. With Zordon's return uncertain and Vexala's empire expanding, the fate of the galaxy hinges on 5 souls chosen by light in a war born of darkness. So, again, the concept is like modern teenagers are chosen because they are of a unique type of soul. And this way, it kind of makes excuse why these teenagers are chosen and not military age men who are serving in the Marines who would be far more physically capable of thwarting a space witch. But instead, it's these teenagers who hang out at a juice bar that are chosen, and it's because of their capacity for good. And that's my thinking is just, stop trying to make this into some big cosmic war and melt it back down into teenagers defending their hometown, semi-unaware of the cataclysm above them in the sky, in space, out there with Rita. It's not that Zordon would keep them in the dark or Dulcia would. It's just, how do you contextualize a space war to a 16-year-old in California? Like video game, I guess. It's like Halo. Halo's happening out in space. It's still not enough to like hit him with the gravity of like, by the way, video games are real, and a space witch is awake on the moon, and she almost killed the floating head guy. So I did a side by side of what I've designed here. Okay, but here we have it, the side by side here, and so 1993, you have the basic. Zoo red suit, Zoo Ranger red suit, doing his thing, looking all menacing. Then over here, what happened with this is that when I decided that Billy upgraded the suit, it would be like adding on to like an ancient armor. You wouldn't really know how to change the armor itself. You'd only be able to know how to add on to that, attach things to the armor already. And that was the context I applied to this, is that Billy had the original Eltaran super soldier suits to work with, which is, what the 1993 suits would be. And his upgrade on them in order to combat this, Vexala threat, which is so much greater than Rita, is to add on to the Eltaran super soldier suits. So, ta-da, that's why they look so jacked up and armored. And this is because it's like for a human, right? We want to lean into more of that European fantasy that made Power Rangers so interesting. And a lot of that was like translated into the human rationale in Power Rangers. That European fantasy was sort of funneled through that lens of human rationale. And so the armor aspect of this is applied because, humans are like, oh, we're going into war? Well, we need armor. So rather than the, supercharged morphing grid energy, whatever you want to call the Power Ranger suits that spark when they get hit with stuff. I always figured it was just weaved together morphin grid energy, and that's why it sparked, is because you interrupted the energy flow and it went zap because you did that. I know it's very basic rationale, but whatever. And so that's why these suits would be like there in the series. You'd see the old Mighty Morphin suits, and then they would get upgraded by Billy, probably assisted by Alpha, obviously. And this is how they would come out on the other end. Now, you know, of course, with these designs that there is a touch of Aba Ranger and Rhea Soldier and Kyoryuger. I think I said that right. Dino Charge. And so you'll notice that too, because I wanted to roll the dinosaur things together. It's an aesthetic, so make it work. And it did, in my opinion, anyway. Now you notice that I had a different idea about the Yellow Ranger. Probably ought to make this disclaimer obvious. Hold on. There we go. Anyway, so as you can see with the Yellow Ranger, there's no skirt. And there is a skirt on my version. And that's because I just think it looks neat. I think it also would make making an action figure much easier. Because guess what? You only need one female body and 2 helmets. You only need 1 male body and 3 helmets. Ta-da! Wow, how about that? Economical, huh? Do you see where they light up? Now, the action figures obviously wouldn't be able to support this for like regular playtime because the joints won't allow the wires to go through. And of course, rough play would cause the wires that you did ran through that to break. So no point. Just make it glow in the dark. Perfectly fine. Just make it glow in the dark. No kid's going to have a problem with that whatsoever. For the deluxe action figures, like the ones that would be like, 8 inches tall to 10 inches tall, like the big ones that you put out there for the very special editions, those honking huge ones, that would have the battery pack and, of course, the necessary wiring to support all the lighting. Kind of like a Buzz Lightyear action figure has all the lighting and stuff like that throughout the extremities. This would also follow that mentality when you wired it up. But the basic playtime toy would just be glow in the dark. So you don't have to worry about wiring it up. You have a basic action figure that does everything it's supposed to do. And when the lights go out, wow, my Ranger lights up with morphin action, with morphin energy, whatever you want to call it, Hasbro, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I just like seeing my guy hanging out with his predecessor. That's all. Just like seeing my guy hanging out with the predecessor. This is my dad. This is my dad. Meet my dad, guys. This is my dad. He works at the command center with Zordon. Yeah, cool guy.